But first, U.S. officials say Iran is on the brink of launching an attack on Israel. A direct attack on Israeli soil would be a major escalation in an already tense region. Israel's war with Iranian-backed Hamas has lasted more than 6 months. Iran had promised to retaliate for a strike nearly 2 weeks ago that killed multiple Iranian military officers in Syria. Iran blames Israel for that strike. The U.S. is watching closely, and President Biden has issued a warning. Here's CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang.
A U.S. official tells CBS News that the size of the planned attack aimed at military targets in Israel has grown in recent days. It could include more than 100 drones, 150 cruise missiles, and even ballistic missiles used for long-range strikes. Tonight, a warning from President Biden to Tehran.
Right now. Mr. President, what is your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't.
Iran has vowed to retaliate, blaming Israel for an airstrike that demolished its consulate in the Syrian capital of Damascus. Iranian state media claims 13, including 2 senior Iranian generals, were killed. A spokesperson for the IDF says Israel is not only on the defensive, but we are also prepared to go on the offensive. We are prepared to strike with a variety of capabilities, he said. Today, the Pentagon's top commander for the Middle East arrived in Israel as preparations continue, and Biden once again pledged the U.S.'s ironclad support.
We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed.
The State Department is warning American diplomats not to travel outside Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, while the UK has gone further, advising people to leave Israel if they can. General Frank McKenzie, the former head of Central Command, said an Iranian attack could lead to a broader conflict in the region.
If there's a significant mass casualty event inside Israel, then I think the possibility of escalation is very, very high.
And Weijia joins me now. So tell us, what is the Biden administration prepared to do if Iran follows through with this strike?
Well, Lana, that really depends on what an attack results in, right? I mean, it is one thing to continue to support Israel, to give it all of the aid it needs to defend itself and to respond to it if it is only Israel that is impacted. But there are also U.S. facilities and personnel in the region, and it would be a very different conversation if there were any U.S. casualties and certainly fatalities. Mm-hmm. What we do know, our colleague Margaret Brennan reported that, according to sources, Iran has been funneling weapons to countries surrounding in the area. And so there is new concern about what that means, because they're funneling these weapons and assets to other groups, to their proxy groups. So there are big questions about what that could mean for U.S. personnel as well as facilities in the area. Lana.
And Weijia, we all know that Iran has several proxy groups in the region. Could we see those groups play a role in this expected attack?
Well, that is one big outstanding question, because we don't know exactly how this attack will be carried out. But certainly, as we have seen before, they have stepped in. They've been proxies for Iran in other aggressions, especially with regard to the Red Sea that we saw earlier this year. And so nobody really knows exactly how this is going to play out. But we can tell you tonight that the Pentagon has sent additional U.S. resources, including repositioning a Navy ship to join another warship that is already in the region, along with other assets to beef up deterrence and to protect the U.S. forces that are there. Lana.
All right. Weijia, thank you.
Sure.
Israel is already facing attacks near its border with Lebanon. Our Debora Patta is in Tel Aviv.
The Iranian-backed group Hezbollah fired a barrage of missiles from Lebanon into northern Israel earlier. This is what the night sky looked like a short while ago. The Israeli Defense Force says most of the missiles were intercepted, the rest falling on empty land with no injuries. Israel remains on high alert, bracing itself for the possibility of an attack by Iran in retaliation for the bombing of its consulate in Damascus. A former Mossad official, Sima Shine, told us that there's a real fear that the region could be on the brink of an expanded conflict. She believes the attack could either come from a number of Iranian proxies in Lebanon, Iraq, or Yemen, or directly from Iran. And if it resulted in mass casualties, this would have the potential for significant escalation. Lana?
All right, Debora, thank you. For more CBS News Face the Nation moderator and chief foreign affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan joins me now. Margaret, President Biden has said that he expects military action sooner rather than later, and CBS News has learned that Iran is planning to attack Israel with a barrage of rockets and drones. I'm wondering what you can tell us is the latest that you're hearing.
Well, Lana, we know from our Pentagon reporters that there are more U.S. military assets also being shifted into the region, ships redirected. That's just showing that forces are on standby for what may come next. We also know that the Biden administration is providing warnings and planning to Americans who are in Israel, to U.S. personnel there as well, and in the surrounding area of any kind of risk of escalation from this latest strike that is expected, a strike that Iran says it has to carry out because its top generals were killed by Israel on April the 1st in a strike Israel conducted without giving the United States a heads up. And that frustrated the Biden administration because they weren't able to protect U.S. forces and personnel in the region in advance of it. They're basically trying to do that right now. And so we will be watching, really, I think, hour by hour, what happens next. And Israel's response will be determined most likely by how successful Iran is at evading their defenses and potentially causing fatalities.
And Margaret, as you're talking about the potential for escalation, I'm hoping you can walk us through the potential implications.
Well, since October 7th and the beginning of this war in Israel, the concern has been what could be the event that would spiral this into a regional conflict. And to date, Iran and the United States have been sending messages to each other saying, neither of us want to escalate this. And this series of events with Israel carrying out that strike inside Syria that killed Iranian generals really was an escalation. And that makes this a state-on-state potential conflict, not just Iran's proxy forces, not just the militias it funds and provides weapons to. And it is that definition that is really causing great concern here. What we know is that all the diplomatic work behind the scenes, this is not just the U.S. sending written messages to Iran. This is a full court press. Germany, the United Kingdom, Oman, Qatar, every country in the region is really trying to say, let's not broaden this, because if it does, things can spiral. As you know, this is going to have implications potentially for the U.S. forces, 2,500 in Iraq, 900 in Syria, military presence in Jordan. We have diplomats throughout the region. We have U.S. citizens throughout the region. And we also know that global financial markets react. You saw by the end of the day, oil prices up 1%. There is a spillover effect when there is global conflict. And right now we have it on so many fronts.
And given how high these stakes are, Margaret, is there any chance that Iran might pull back?
This has been the hope, Lana, because the messages last week the United States and Iran passed back and forth. Iran was clear that it wasn't seeking conflict with the United States. The United States was clear. Don't hit U.S. personnel and facilities. They're trying to establish guardrails. And since October 7th, Iran has been fairly restrained in a way that surprised a lot of diplomats. And so they are seeing some of these things potentially and hoping that Iran just carries out a face-saving move, that they have to do something, but not something significant enough that it causes a tit-for-tat that goes back and forth between Israel and Iran. Those are the concerns.
Brennan, always appreciate you providing all of that important context so that we can better understand this. Thank you.
Thanks, Lana.